In healthcare delivery, we generally work not as individuals, but in teams, though in reality work is often undertaken in groups with little sense of being members of a team. The conventional models of SA are based on individuals and how they gain, maintain or lose personal SA. Let's take a look at how personal SA and team SA can interact. During many abdominal and pelvic operations, there is a risk of injury to the inferior vena cava. This is a large vein that can bleed torrentially. Such bleeds are easy to control temporarily with packing because of the vein's low pressure, but they're hard to repair permanently with sutures because of the vein's thin wall. Surgeons have been known to continually attempt to suture vena cava injuries, oblivious of how many pints of blood are going up the sucker, that is, until the patient has bled out, exsanguinated, which does not take long. This has been the cause of 2 relatively recent deaths in theatre in the UK.
A patient was undergoing right hemicolectomy when the inferior vena cava was injured. The surgeon pressed a pack over the area and calmly explained to the team what had happened as he briefed them. He called in extra assistance and asked for the correct suture, extra suction, extra lighting and extra blood supplies before releasing the flow and repairing the tear. The surgeon having accurate personal situation awareness, but more importantly, he brought the team's situation awareness up with him. The team apparently worked like a well-oiled machine.
Models of personal SA are adapted to teams with common goals, as in Gorman's Team SA model, which describes how the performance of a whole team depends on each member's personal SA and how they interact. More recently, distributed SA has been proposed, which extends Team SA to include the whole system of team members, task, equipment and environment. Distributed SA has been adapted to cardiothoracic theatres and anaesthetics. Ensley's model was not aimed at Team SA, but it's in the team setting that the model has its greatest value. It was developed primarily to describe the SA process, rather than to improve it through training. The perception step is about noticing things. We notice things when they impinge on our consciousness. With experience, we more readily notice things of relevance. An experienced Coast Guard will notice the faintest flare on the horizon that other people might miss. The mother of a large family looking after a number of children, whether her own or someone else's, will notice when one disappears, when other people might not. The same principle applies to comprehension and anticipation of future events. These stem from noticing things, and they become more thorough and accurate with relevant experience. There is not much we can personally do to improve our performance at these things in general. Exhortations to notice more, comprehend more, and anticipate more accurately will not improve a team's performance. The educational value of Ensley's model is not in how we apply it to ourselves, but in how we apply it to those around us. Everyone's ability to perceive, comprehend and anticipate is reduced by stress, fixation, distraction and preoccupation. Team members who are preoccupied will underperform at all 3 steps in the model. If we need to alert a preoccupied team member to a situation change, it's not good enough just to point out the relevant evidence. We need to probe further to ensure they've understood it and understood what it means for the future. Occasionally, whole teams can lose SA, but usually only individual members lose it. A remarkable thing about this common situation is that whole teams can fail because of loss of SA by individuals, even though other members of the team continue to have accurate SA.
The triggers to the loss of situation awareness, first of all, what you do is at the introduction phase, you're trying to level the hierarchy sufficiently so that there's no barriers to, no matter who it is in the team, feels able to say, excuse me, but I'm not sure we're doing the right thing here, even if they're wrong. I mean, after all, we all make mistakes. But if someone isn't sure that we're doing the right thing, then surely it's incumbent upon us just to stop and check and actually to encourage that behaviour.
The field of aviation provides several extreme examples. Loss of SA in just one member of an aircraft's crew has led to accidents with loss of everyone on board. In several of these incidents, the cockpit voice recorder revealed that other members of the crew had not lost SA. They could see what was happening and what needed to be done, but failed to correct the problem until it was too late, losing their lives as a consequence. Here is a Team SA example from healthcare.
A 70-year-old man was admitted for the removal of the right kidney. Due to a clerical error, the admission slip stated left. The operating list was transcribed from the admission slips. The patient was not woken up to check the correct side on the preoperative ward round, and the side was not checked from the notes or consent form. The side was questioned by the consultant surgeon when the patient arrived in theatre, but was not confirmed either way. The consultant instructed the senior registrar to carry out the operation, but mistakenly put the correctly labelled X-rays on the viewing box back to front. The consultant supervised the positioning. The senior registrar did not check the side and did not notice the normal pulsation in the renal artery of the kidney he was removing, a clue to it being the wrong one. A medical student observing the operation suggested to the senior registrar that he was removing the incorrect kidney, but he told her that she was wrong. The mistake was discovered, but not until 2 hours after the operation. The patient was left with no functioning kidney and died 5 weeks later.
Loss of SA by individual team members can lead the whole team to disaster, even though other team members keep good SA. This situation is the most common way in which loss of team SA leads to errors. It specifically happens when SA is lost by the leader or a senior member. The passive behaviour of other team members who maintain SA is related to their reluctance to challenge authority and insecurity in their own judgments. Such situations are avoidable with appropriate communication training. Whole teams can lose SA together. It can happen that all members of a team miss or misinterpret clues to a changing situation, and they all lose SA as a consequence. It can happen if the clues are particularly subtle or obtuse, but it is rare. A more common cause of loss of team SA is when the attention of team members who are not directly involved in the task drifts. They gradually lose SA, but normally this does not matter because they can regain it when they need to by reference to other team members who are directly involved and therefore maintaining accurate SA. If the people maintaining SA then lose it, the whole team can easily go down. Another way in which whole teams lose SA is with groupthink, also called the bandwagon effect. This is when some team members take one view and others go along with it, not because it's correct, but because of the number or seniority of those who hold that view. There is substantial evidence that most individuals will conform to such social pressures, which may range from subtle expectations through to overt aggression. There's also evidence that a proportion of individuals are highly resistant to such effects. Imagine the position of the medical student in the wrong side kidney operation. She was the most junior there and the only one saying it was the wrong side. The team as a whole did not listen. Instead, they went along with the team leaders. The groupthink or bandwagon effect was the subject of a famous series of experiments conducted in the middle of the 20th century by Solomon Asch, a psychologist working at Philadelphia College in the United States. He was prompted by the Nuremberg trials of Nazi war criminals to investigate why people could be complicit in projects they felt to be wrong. He asked groups of students to participate in a vision test. In reality, all of the students except one in each group were collaborating with the experimenter. This one student did not know that the others were collaborating, or that he or she was the subject of the experiment. In a classroom setting, the students were presented with cards like these and asked a series of questions about the cards, such as how the single line compared in length with the other lines labelled A, B and C. These questions were easy. In a series of control runs, the rate at which the subject made erroneous answers was under 1%. In the experimental runs, the students collaborating with the experimenter were briefed about what answers to give. In cases where the answer was incorrect, and the same incorrect answer was given by all collaborating students, the single subject of the experiment gave the same incorrect answer 32% of the time. For example, the line on this card is clearly the same length as line C on this one. When subjects were asked without peer pressure, they said C more than 99% of the time. When all members of the group except the subject said A, the subject also said A 32% of the time. Ash was not testing vision or spatial awareness, it was just a device to allow him to ask questions with obvious answers. He was testing to see if the desire to conform to a group view was strong enough for people to reverse obvious rational judgments. He found that in many cases it was.